the smart shopper in Germany reads the label and not the logo. So are you a smart shopper? What are you reading, the label or the logo? When you buy some branded product, especially from grocery stores, you're not necessarily getting the best quality or whatsoever. It's just marketing strategy, which is good business for them. And I mean, you have to know what you're getting, right? I've gone shopping sometimes and some people, they just go for the more expensive one because they think it has better quality. No, it does not. Hi everyone, welcome to Immigrant Hub Germany. Today I will be sharing with you my experience from a documentary which I watched recently in German, and it's about how you can save yourself a lot of money when it comes to shopping in Germany. In Germany, and to a large extent, I think this is a general mentality for most people, we always associate branded products with good quality, but in fact, it's not actually the case, and we will see that in this documentary. By the way, the original documentary was done in German, and you can see the details right now.
Tempo oder Ja-Taschentücher von Rewe? Marke oder Eigenmarke?
So I am explaining it for you in English language so that you can put that into practice in your daily life. When I came to Germany, for some reason I was shopping in Rewe. I remember Rewe was very close to me, and so it was just natural to go shop there. And then after a while, I was introduced to Aldi by a German friend of mine who told me that Aldi is the traditional German grocery store. That's where most Germans go to shop. And trust me, when I discovered Aldi, I made it my default grocery store. And then, of course, I discovered other discount grocery stores like Netto, Lidl, and so on. But the key point in this video is for you to understand that branded product does not necessarily mean good quality. It does not mean, I don't know, whatever it is that you associate with branded product. In the documentary, we will see practical examples of how families could save themselves lots of money on a monthly basis by, not just shopping only branded products, but paying more attention to what they're buying. First thing first, you will find out when you go shopping in Germany that almost every store has their own brand, and it's called in German Eigenmarken. So it's like own brand. But of course, you will also see in the same stores like real branded products or commonly branded products from major manufacturers. And the point is that experiments and tests were done, and they could confirm that in actual sense, these Eigenmarken, so store-owned brands, are not just cheap in price, but they are actually better quality. And then it also turns out that most of these Eigenmarken, so own brand, they're actually being produced by the same manufacturers who are producing for the established brands. Really fascinating. And then you will also see how these brands were compared side by side. And then also how experts in, say, Lebensmittel, I'm thinking about the right word in English, provisions or like food stuff, how they actually checked and compared the ingredients between Eigenmarken, so own store brands, and then other branded products. And it will interest you to find out that the big brands are actually saving cost and using less of the right ingredients in making their products. You see it in the documentary. It's not me saying it was done. And then it turns out that in some cases, the store-owned products, they are using more expensive raw materials to manufacture their products. You will also find out why exactly it's so. Really fascinating. But I think the turning point for me is the fact that, yes, now I can go shopping with confidence knowing that if I would buy from Rewe, for example, or Gut und Günstig from Edeka, and all these own store branded products, that it's not so bad after all. It's actually good. Now, the first experiment or the first proof of these was actually a family that allowed themselves to partake in this documentary. So before now, the family was spending around 1,400 per month on grocery shopping, and they were intentionally buying just branded products because they thought, the branded products are of better quality. And now, so the guys doing this documentary, they thought, okay, let us try something. For 4 weeks, you don't buy the branded product. You just buy the own store brand products. And so they experimented this, right? So they went shopping. They would only pick the own store brands and not the common ones, the popular ones which are known. So in Aldi, they will pick Aldi brands. In Rewe, they will pick the Rewe brands. In Edeka, they would pick the Edeka brands. Yeah, I mean, even Edeka brands are kind of expensive compared to some branded products, but that's for another day. So it turns out that at the end of the 4 weeks, When they check how much they were spending, it turns out that they not only saved up to close to 500 euros by buying own store brands, but also that they couldn't tell the difference in the taste between the branded product and then the store branded product. They couldn't really tell the difference. That was one. And then in some cases, they actually prefer these own store brands to the branded products. It's more interesting is at the beginning when they asked the family, why do they purchase branded product? They were like, oh, it tastes better. That they could tell the difference. But truthfully, when they did the experiment, they could not really tell. And this was the first part of the documentary, which I find really interesting.
Auf uns wartet, ob da eine Fabrik auf uns wartet, ob da ein Einfamilienhaus auf uns wartet. Schon hier rein, oder?
Ja. Da steht es auf jeden Fall dran.
Da
Ja.
steht SBA GmbH.
Now, the other part is these no name, as the video calls it, they are not just random. No, I will tell you how it works actually. So the thing is this, most stores, they want to save on marketing cost, right? And for these, they are rather slashing down the price very well, but not necessarily compromising on the product quality. So what happened is that they discovered that when you take some product and you look closely, the branded product and the store brand product, you will find out that in many cases, they're actually from the same manufacturer, literally the same manufacturer. And then if you pay close attention to the ingredients, the components, they are also the same. And then you wonder, why are you choosing one over the other? Why will you take the Brilla spaghetti over the, Aldi spaghetti, for example, or the Goods Ungünstig from Edeka, So if you look closely, if you pay attention closely, you see that these are actually coming from the same source. And now what they also found that is one of these branded products, when they try to trace the address of the manufacturer, it led to a private home. Literally, they saw the product, they saw the address, they were like, let's go find out who is this great manufacturer of this wonderful product. But only to get there and see that it is a personal, like it's just a private building, nothing that looked like a factory where they are manufacturing this product. And then the funny thing is still on that, there is then another manufacturer's address which was there. And the location made a lot of sense because it's an industrial location. So they traced it and they found out that, this is actually the location, which looks like the location where these own brand products are also being manufactured from. Fascinating. So these Eigenmarken, they are not just random. No, they're actually being produced by the same manufacturers who are producing the branded products. And some manufacturers are, I would say, being smart, and the same product, like content-wise, they just relabel them, literally. Put something else on it, and then when you try to find out the location, you go there, it's just a private home and stuff. So again, my point is this: when you buy some branded product, especially from grocery stores, you're not necessarily getting the best quality or whatsoever. It's just marketing strategy, which is good business for them. And you have to know what you're getting, right? Now, the other interesting part is now quality. Very specifically in the documentary, they compare the quality of washing tablets, like the tablets that you use to do your dishes, that you put in the dishwasher to wash them. So they compared from like 2 branded versions and then from Rossmann and DM. So we all know Rossmann and DM, and these grocery stores also have their own brands. So you will always see the name. It's like sometimes they have multiple versions of them, but you can easily tell by seeing the logo. For example, in the Rossmann brand, you will see the Rossmann logo. In the DM, you will also see the DM logo. And funny thing is, even within the Eigenmarken, they also have like levels. For example, that of Edeka. Edeka has there's the Goods and Günstig, which is like the least, and then there are like maybe 2 more. Again, just giving you consumers choice to select. At the end of the day, maybe it's not so different. But anyways, coming to proving of the quality, so these 4 brands were compared, right? These were not just anyhow people that compared it. So it was actually tested in the laboratory and people actually experimented with it. Put plates in the dishwasher and use the same thing to make the dishes dirty, and then they put them in the dishwasher and used each of these tablets to wash the dishes and then see the results. It would interest you to know which brand came out the best. Yes, the DM brand came out the best, and it is also the cheapest. Unbelievable. So it did a nice washing, better than the other expensive branded versions. And now you ask yourself, so what's up with that? Most people will go to stores, and funny thing is that same family, they said they always buy these other expensive brand because they thought it was better. But now they see clearly, no, that's not necessarily the case. Yes. Then also within this checking of quality, people will tell you, oh, I can taste the difference in the brands. Maybe some people truly can, but I don't know if they're just bullshitting. Really, I don't know if they're just bullshitting, because in this case, they had people to taste and tell which chocolate bar tasted better. So they got from different brands. They got from Aldi, from Lidl, from Netto, I guess also from Edeka. And now they compared this branded version, Milka, which is like the most expensive, and you see how huge the price is compared to the others, like more than 50% different. And now they compared them. And the funny thing is, so what they did was that they unpacked all the chocolate brands and then they kind of relabeled them so you couldn't tell from which brand this chocolate bar is. And they had the people to taste each of them. And it's interesting to see that when the results came out, the Aldi brand, one of the cheapest, actually won because most people voted for that this tasted the best. And these are people that otherwise would claim that, oh, we can tell the difference, this other one tastes much better. But with this experiment, it turns out that the so-called cheap brand tasted the best. Okay, so now you know what to do when you go shopping. Now, what are the key takeaways from this story? So the first one is you can save hundreds of euros per month, if not thousands, depending on how often you shop, without necessarily downgrading. So we can see this clearly from the family who was spending about 1,400 monthly, and then only to find out that they could actually save close to 500 euros. And so you can save a lot of money without necessarily downgrading. And why is this important? Most migrants in Germany, they struggle financially. That's the truth. I'm not sure about the people that you are in contact with, but it's not very uncommon to find migrants who are struggling financially. But there are ways that you can actually check yourself and see that you are saving every month. I will be making other video series about financial planning and wealth building, but this is just one way that I wanted to show how you can be smart when it comes to helping yourself financially. So pay attention to those Eigenmarken, so those on-store brands, and honestly, you will save yourself a lot of money. Try the experiment for yourself. If you've not been tracking your expenses, do that from today. Just shop as you normally would, and then for the next weeks, just go only with on-store brands. So the common ones that you find in Lidl, in Edeka, in Rewe, in Aldi, in Netto. But again, also keep in mind that there are actually discount stores that you even get more affordable products. So try that and see the difference for yourself. And this also translates to no name does not necessarily mean no quality. That's not true. Some of these no names are also manufactured by the branded guys. So again, no name does not mean low quality, no quality. It just means that these companies, they are putting more attention on the product and not on the marketing and branding. Literally, most times you're just paying for the marketing and branding. And you ask yourself, hey, did I send you to do all that stuff? Yeah, and sometimes you're paying extra for the same product. The same content, you're literally paying extra, and you ask yourself, why? So pay attention to that as well. And also, the ingredients reality check to turn out that even those no-name products have better ingredients, more quality raw materials are used in them than the other brands. So again, do yourself a favor. This also relates to the other parts or the other points, function. So there's the ingredients part, and then there's also the function part as well. So like the experiment using the tablet for dish washing. So you find out that even the ones from these no-name brands, they actually did well, they performed better. So you will be surprised the massive difference that you find between these branded products and the unbranded ones. And when you tell yourself, I can taste the difference, ask yourself again, can you truly taste the difference? Really ask yourself that. And what this means is the smart shopper in Germany reads the label and not the logo. So are you a smart shopper? What are you reading, the label or the logo? You should read the label. You should check the content. And the funny thing is you only have to do this once. So maybe this month, tell yourself, okay, when I go shopping, I'm going to pay attention to the content of the labels. So do that, and you don't have to do it next month again, because then you know the things that you buy. And if you're not buying something new for the first time, you do the same, but not just looking at the logo. And the funny thing is, I've gone shopping sometimes, and some people, they just go for the more expensive one because they think it has better quality. No, it does not. And very importantly, for most products which you take in, like that you eat, you can be sure that there are regulatory bodies that ensures the minimal quality of those products. So by buying these no-name brands, you're not buying something with suboptimal quality. No way, because there are regulations, there are guidelines for producing these products. So you can be sure that the minimum guideline is met, and in most cases, even better than the branded product. We could see this. I do encourage you to watch the German version if you can. If you understand German, that would really help you, because you will see exactly the stories, how they're telling it. But I wanted you to just know this for your information. You will also find details, like a more breakdown of this. I decided to write an article about it as well, just so that if you watch this, you understand it, but then you can also read a bit more to get more specific information. So you can check the link to the article in the description below. Above all, I think the healthiest long-term approach is, I wouldn't say a mix of both, but just pay attention to the labels. I think that's the most important thing. What does the label say? Who manufactured it? What's the process of manufacturing? What are the components? And so on and so forth. And you will do yourself a favor and save yourself hundreds of euros per month, which will convert into thousands of euros in a year. And that's free money, literally free money. Speaking about free money, I will be telling you more stuff on how you can get free money in Germany. Anyways, thank you so much, guys, for listening and watching this. I hope it was valuable to you. I hope it brought something new in your life. Tell me what you think. Where do you shop? Aldi, Lidl, Rewe, Netto, Edeka, Kaufland. There's so many of them in Germany, countless of them. I cannot keep up with the numbers. Tell me where you shop. My message to you is this: every grocery store in Germany, like these ones which I mentioned and more like them, they have their own brands. Pay attention to those brands, because you will find out in some cases that the same manufacturer of the expensive brands are also the same people manufacturing these no-name brands. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you around. Cheers.